Speaking of anime though, I wanted to talk about this. This was horrifying. This was very, very spooky. AI. Once again, back at it again. You know how there are a lot of people on YouTube who create like these like weird 60 FPS things, and basically what it does, it like takes two different frames and like blends them together, and it looks really, really bad because there's like no frame in between. Because it doesn't actually generate a frame, it just blends two things together, and often it looks really, really bad. That's why like all those videos look horrible, and it's frankly a disgrace. So basically what these guys have done is they actually have a technique to generate things in between. Look at this. So you have like a frame of eyes open, eyes closed, and this is what they got. I mean, there's a bunch more examples. I've got no idea how applicable this is in like actual workflows right now, but it seems pretty OP. Exactly, yeah. They're basically automating in between frames. And once again, I must go back. There's like a full video of this. We can look through all of this. This left one doesn't matter. So like it's doing the little walk thing. Shadow also stays there. All the movement, the fire looks nice, the reflections, all react. Decent, more results. That's a lot of movement. That's a lot of movement. The train coming in. It looks a bit fuzzy, but that's fine. Look from this. You have a whole animated sequence. This. Incredible. One Piece. Right here. This is from the movies. I don't know what this is. No one cares about this. Sketch guy. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want this. I don't know what like what the goal for this is. These are like sketches. I am honestly like I'm not entirely sure what to think about this. What's the website called? I can link this. I'll drop it in chat. This is the actual paper. Because like I made this video a couple of years back. Like 2 years ago. Because like when I look at stuff like this, right? In between animators get around 200 yen per drawing, less than $2. And you know, it's like 12-hour work days. And it's really, really bad. Right? And then there was also this. Studio Madhouse was recently accused of violating the labor code. Employees were working nearly 400 hours per month and went 37 consecutive days without a single day off. Male Animators 2014. You know what the word underneath is. We all know what it is. Was classified as a work-related incident after investigators found he worked more than 600 hours in the month leading up to his death. So, I see this kind of stuff, and I'm kind of like, I don't know how to feel about this stuff being automated. Maybe this is good. Because like in between frames, they are being outsourced to people who literally aren't even classified under employees. This stuff is outsourced to like, because this whole violating the labor code thing, if you look at this stuff, right? Usually freelancers. So basically what they're doing is they're like making the important animation in-house and just getting a bunch of very, very cheap people to do the in-betweens. And these are horrible. It's really, really, really bad. If you look through all these stories, it is insane. So if they do like the important bits in-house and then use their own in-house animation to like bridge the things, maybe that's a good thing. If you look frame by frame, it will be weird and unnatural. Of course it will be. Of course it will be. But the beautiful thing about technology, something you must always remember about technology, this right here is the absolute worst it will ever be, ever again. It will never get worse than this. Never. So, you know, I'm obviously very much, I want proper art to be done by people. But the in-between frames, like people blinking, mouths flapping, stuff like that, I don't know if we need people to do that. Because that's like busy work, you know? Because when I think about like video game animation, stuff like that, all of that is not done by hand, you know? Like all the mouth flaps, everything, all that is automated. Freelancers struggle the most in the industry, and in my view, most of the industry is run by freelancers, even in One Punch Man Season 1. And that's what I mean, you know? Like with all of this stuff, the answer is always regulation. Like, there is not a single thing you can talk about it being bad, You can say that they shouldn't do this. You can say all of these things, but it's not going to change anything. The only thing that's going to solve this is regulation. But if we don't have that, you know, and these tools are incorporated in studios, and we don't have to like rely on freelancer work that's going to be really, really bad. Oh no. Maybe this at least pushes like freelancers to get like better contracts or something. Because when I was working on this video, like I cut a bunch of stuff from this, right? Because this video starts off like with the whole things being put in Netflix jail, yada yada. But like this is the stuff that I really wanted to make the whole video about. Because the freaking in-between stuff and like doing animation, all of this was really, really bad. It's like every single studio too. So I guess we'll see. I do think Japan is going to be the first country that like adopts this a lot, by the way. 1,000,000% I think so. Because Japan has like no laws on AI, and they basically said they're going to just go all in on it. Did you hear that Google shut down their AI results? They finally got the memo. I saw that, yeah. I saw that. The sad part about the like AI search thing is that I don't know how many of them are actually real. Because like a lot of people obviously started making memes. I want to know how bad it actually was. Because like I'm 99% convinced like all the big Twitter accounts were just like editing the code. No, well, not the code, like the HTML. Just to say the most absurd things possible. Because that's what I would do. If I was a Twitter account farming engagements, I would write that I searched on Google, what do I do if I stuck a fork in an, like a, I'm not going to finish that sentence because I don't think I can say that on Twitch. But you stuck a fork, you know where. What do I do? And then I would just edit the HTML to say like, oh, you should probably bake like chocolate chip cookies or something. That's what I would do. So I don't know how many of them are actually real. The second key animation is one of the most needed work after actually making the main key. Yeah, that's what I mean, right? So, because I also want to make a video about this. I'm going to spoil it right now. I'm going to make a video because I think there is a problem with anime that I would almost liken to AAA games. Hear me out. I think anime right now, I'm not saying all anime, but I'm saying a lot of anime is falling in the same exact trap as AAA games in this pointless rush for fidelity and insane animation. I think a lot of anime you see nowadays is just, it had good animation, and that's where the conversation ends. Like, I'm sorry. We don't need a lot of this. And people don't need to work 16 hours a day, so you have like 16 frames in like the impact frames. Like, I get that it's cool, but we know what happens when you start this arms race of like graphics. And I think what set this off is Demon Slayer, by the way. I think after Demon Slayer, like everyone tries to do like compositing and everything else in animation just to like one up themselves. Because I think you can definitely draw a direct line between Demon Slayer and after Demon Slayer. Because I think people saw that like you could make, I don't want to call Demon Slayer's animation mediocre because it's not, but like for the sake of argument, it was like mediocre animation that was elevated by composition basically, right? And then people said, well, what if we make extremely detailed drawings and add composition on top of that? And then you got Chainsaw Man. And then we were like, oh man, so we got this right now. Let's do this for everything. And then suddenly everything was like that. It's insane. Because people say they love Wit's animation in Attack on Titan, right? But if you put the worst Wit frame and the worst Mappa frame side by side, I'ma be real, Mappa clears every single time. Because Mappa is concentrating on details that most people don't actually care about. Some of Wit's backgrounds are egregious. They are so bad. But the best part is that they are backgrounds that no one cares. Wit focused on the things that mattered. And that's why I think this is a huge, huge problem that we are about to face in the entirety of the anime industry. We saw this with solo leveling. We are sort of seeing this with Frieren as well. Because Frieren's animation toward the end is also just insane. For some reason. I don't know why. I think it's common. Jujutsu Kaisen too. Jujutsu Kaisen definitely. One Piece is also sort of that, but I feel like One Piece just has the resources to do that. So I don't know. Exactly. Demon Slayer and then Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 came out back to back, and people's expectations went through the roof. Exactly. Because I feel like people saw, like, the impact frames, and people saw how much, like, ridiculous fidelity there is in the shots, and the thing with the stuff is when you see it, that becomes the new standard. And the same thing happened with video games. Oh, the water is reflective now. Well, why is water not reflective in this game? Like, people put freaking RTX shaders in Minecraft. Why would you do that? And that's what I mean. It's like this obsession with fidelity that actually doesn't change the quality of the product basically at all. But it improves costs so much. And I wish we didn't do this. I wish, like, they focused on the things that mattered. And what matters is the story. Not even the story, but just, like, bits of the story that should get attention over others. Because I think, like, another thing that is sort of, it's sort of impossible to quantify. With a lot of the animation, it loses, like, that peaks and valleys, you know? Because with a lot of Wit stuff, there were, like, downtimes, and then when Wit popped off, Wit popped off. Like, when they went hard, you knew they were going hard. But with something like Chainsaw Man, for example, every single frame was a freaking painting. And there really isn't, like, that hype moment at all. Because it's just, like, constantly very good. Have you seen Red Line anime racing movie where every single frame is hand-drawn? That sounds insane. Yeah, like, I'm gonna be real. I think they just need to start cutting back on, like, this insane animation. Because I think, like, a majority of people... Actually, I say that for games, but I don't know if it's true for anime. I actually don't. Because anime is not something you interact with, it's just something you consume. They did use AI for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse animation. They trained the AI to draw faces in different positions. So I saw this. Yes. By the way, something that, like, I think the best AI use case now is, like, rotoscoping, stuff like that. Because that is something that is 100% dependent on still your fundamental skill. And AI is just a thing that allows you to cut out the busy work. For example, if you see this thing right up here, I made this using ChatGPT. I think, like, right now, like, AI is best used in cases where it just allows you to do things that you couldn't otherwise do under a realistic schedule, under realistic expectations. Could I go out and learn HTML to write this? Yes. But why should I do that if I can just, like, just tell it to do it for me? But, like, jokes aside, rotoscoping is, like, yeah. Rotoscoping, mouth flaps, eye movements, like, real-time lighting, stuff like that. Why not let just the machine do it? Or why not? It's probably gonna do it better anyway.